Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. We're going to do another chia seed pudding, but this one's going to be blended. We are doing a berry cheesecake. Here's all the ingredients on the screen. We're going to go through the whole process. We have frozen fruit, some sort of milk, chia seeds, protein powder, and some sugar-free cheesecake pudding. Now, if you're not using a flavored protein powder, I would use some sort of honey or sweetener. So the first we're going to do is put 1.5 cups of milk in here. I'm using oat milk. 1 cup of frozen fruit, and then we're going to blend that up. Now you can use any kind of milk you want, but I'm using unsweetened creamy oat milk, but you can use almond milk, you can use whatever you'd like. And like I said, if you are using like a plain unflavored protein powder, then I would definitely use some sort of sweetener. And then we're going to do a 1/2 cup of chia seeds. Now I went and bought more chia seeds because mine were expired and they weren't expanding. So yes, and these were very expensive. I need to find a cheaper place to get chia seeds. Then I'm going to do some protein powder. This is the vanilla milkshake from Premier Protein. Now you want 2 servings of protein powder. For my protein here, 2 scoops is 1 serving. So I want to do 4 scoops, but look at your protein powder. If 1 scoop is a serving, then just do 2 scoops. So don't follow mine. Look at your package to see what kind you're using. Like I said, this is the vanilla cheesecake. And then, the vanilla milkshake. Now we're going to use the sugar-free cheesecake jello pudding. I'm going to do 1/2 of this package. So I weighed out 1/2 of this package. I'm going to put that in there. Just going to add a little bit of cheesecake flavor. So for those of you who are not sure about the texture of chia seeds, doing a blended chia seed pudding will help that. You're not going to have that same kind of texture. It's still going to thicken up and it's still going to have a little bit of texture, but it's not going to be the same as the regular chia seed pudding that is a little bit gelatinous. It's not going to be quite that bad. So we have 2 of them here. I will put points, calories, and protein here on the screen. This is a little larger one than I've been doing, so I think this is going to be really filling for me, and it's going to be a lot of extra fiber as well, which you guys know I'm all about fiber. The next thing we're going to make is going to be some protein energy bites. I have not made these in forever, and I just kind of threw this recipe together from tons of different ones. So we need some rolled oats, some protein powder, some powdered peanut butter. You need some honey, vanilla extract, some sugar-free chocolate chips, and some milk of your choice. First thing you want to do is take your powdered peanut butter and make it into peanut butter. I'm using the Nuts and More Toffee Crunch. And then you want 2 cups of rolled oats. If you have never tried the Nuts and More powdered peanut butter, highly recommend it. There's some of it I'm not a huge fan of, but the Toffee Crunch is one of my favorites. And it's great in this recipe, by the way. I'd already tried these. They turned out so well. Now, once again, I'm going to do 2 servings of the powdered protein. So again, mine is 2 scoops for a serving, so I did 4 scoops. So you want to do 2 servings of your protein of choice. And we're going to kind of mix that up just a little bit before we add in the rest of the ingredients. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put our peanut butter in there. And again, like I said, you can use whatever kind of powdered peanut butter you want, or you can use regular peanut butter. Just do 1/4 cup is what you want. So we want to do 1/4 cup of the powder, add some water to it, make it into a peanut butter, but use whatever kind you would like. And then we're going to add in some honey. So I'm going to do 1/4 cup of this sugar-free honey. I believe I found this at Big Lots. It was kind of a random find, but it's just a sugar-free honey, so it's less calories. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're going to go ahead and add that in there. Of course, you guys know I don't usually measure out my vanilla. And then we're going to do just a couple tablespoons of chia seeds, so like 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. And then we're going to kind of go start stirring it up, and we need to add a little bit of milk. So I'm going to use, again, some of my oat milk. And I'm going to start off with 1/4 cup. I would start off very low because it just really depends on your protein powder. It depends on a lot of things. So I'm just starting out with 1/4 cup just to see how that goes. So remember, you can't take away liquid, but you can keep adding liquid. So I tried 1/4 cup. I knew I needed just a little bit more, so I did pour another 1/4 cup out. But I only ended up using like 1/2 of that 1/4 cup because like I said, I wanted to put just a little bit in there. and only ended up using just half of that 1/4 cup. And I will do a close-up of that nuts and more. I'm sorry, I thought I did in this video, but I obviously did not pick it up. So I will do a close-up of that nuts and more so you can see what that looks like. Now you can see that here I'd only used half of that. We want to add in some of the dark chocolate, no sugar added chocolate chips. And I just did a 1/4 cup of those. And then I got my hands wet because that's going to make you forming these balls a lot better. So just make sure your hands are kind of wet. Some people spray them with cooking spray. I just prefer to just make my hands wet, then they don't feel so oily. And this is going to make, this for me made 12 balls. It's really going to depend on how big you make them, how big or how small you make them. But you'll see here, like about halfway through, so I got about halfway through this bowl, and my hands were sticking really, really bad. I had so much trouble getting the balls made, so I just went and got my hands wet again and just made the rest of them. So pretty easy process. And these, you guys, you'll see how many calories these have. Now these have a little bit more calories, and depending on what sweetener you use, if you can't find a sugar-free honey, you can always use sugar-free maple syrup as well. They would work just as well in here. You just need something sticky. So whatever kind of sweetener, liquid sweetener you use, as long as it's a little bit sticky like maple syrup or honey, you can use that. You can use regular honey. You don't have to use sugar-free. So completely up to you. But you can see here it started falling apart just because my hands started getting really sticky. So I just went and got my hands wet again, and they started forming right up, no problem. Now I'm going to put these in the freezer for about 30 minutes, and then I'm just going to transfer them to a bowl and put them in the refrigerator. And again, on the screen here, I'll have the points, calories, and protein. But I'll tell you, I already tried these. Fantastic. Highly, highly recommend. Next up, I'm going to make some ingredients for some burrito bowls that I'll be making. This is a Pico de Gallo. I've never made Pico de Gallo before. I know, weird, huh? So we need some Roman tomatoes, a white onion, purple onion, jalapenos, cilantro, lime juice, and then some salt. Now I used about 3 of these tomatoes, 1 of the jalapenos. I used about half the bunch of cilantro, about 1/4 of the white onion, and about half of the red onion. I'm more of a red onion fan. And then all the lime juice of 1 lime. So I'm going to use my little chopper here. Like I've always said, this is one I've had for about 6 years. It's very old. I literally only have 2 attachments to it. I do need to upgrade to another one because I have been using this more. And this one, it's just not as good as it used to be. So I don't know if you can tell how much I have to smash this thing down. And I've never used tomatoes in this, or maybe once or twice I have. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but actually I was very impressed with how well this worked with the tomatoes. But it's really, I think it's getting, I mean, it's still sharp, but it does not work as well as it used to. I really have to smash down on it. Like I said, I don't know if you can still, but my animals go crazy because it's loud when I'm in here beating on this thing. But I have heard people that even have the brand new ones tell me it's the same way. Like they still have to you have to kind of pound on them to get them going. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and chop all these. What I like about these is they come with these bowls. I mean, like a built-in bowl. So when you're making something like Pico de Gallo, I literally don't even have to keep changing out the stuff. I can just go, and it came together so quickly, being able to just leave everything in there. So I was kind of looking like, do I need more of something? I did end up putting more red onion. I decided just to do 1 jalapeno because I figured that would be enough. I am changing to my smaller grate because I did not want big, huge pieces of jalapenos. So I changed to my little itty bitty one, and this one I really had to slam on because it's really hard to get through. So anyway, but it did work really well. My jalapeno ended up being really super tiny. But yeah, that one went through really easy. So I decided to do more red onion though because it just didn't look like enough to me. So I did end up adding in more of that because I really love red onion or purple onion, whatever you want to call it. Now when you're trying to get juice out of a lime or lemon, just roll it on the countertop and really push down on it, and it kind of breaks up all that juice. And then that way when you cut it in half, that juice just comes right out. Now I chopped up my cilantro, so I'm going to put about half of that bunch in here. I love cilantro personally, so completely up to you how much you want to use. But for me, you can never have enough cilantro. And I'm just going to use this entire lime and just squeeze the heck out of it. I don't have a lot of strength in my hands, kind of like fun fact. My hands, I really don't. I think it's just, you know, as you get older, I just don't have a lot of strength in my hands. So it is really hard. I probably should get a juicer, but I don't really juice limes and lemons that often. So even one of those little handheld ones, I don't do it that often. So, and I'm out of regular salt, so I put in some onion salt. I know, random, I completely forgot to pick up salt. I had no idea I was out. So anyway, I decided to grab a spoon because I just tend to do a lot of things with my hands when I'm cooking, but y'all probably don't want to see that all the time. So got a spoon out and we are going to stir that up. And I did take a bite, but I must not have got all the jalapeno in there because all I did was get this humongous bite of jalapeno and my tongue was burning. Oh my goodness, y'all. But this tastes really, really good. My husband does not like spicy things, so this will literally only be for me to eat. So that's the reason why I did not worry about, you know, I wanted to put as much jalapeno because I knew he would not eat this. So I love spicy things, so it's all mine. So I'll be using this again for my like copycat Chipotle burrito bowls, and you will see that next week. I'm going to have those for my lunches next week. I am so excited for this. So another component of my burrito bowls is going to be some cilantro, lime, cauliflower / brown rice. So to kind of bulk up my cauliflower rice, I'm going to add some whole grain brown rice in there as well. So plus some cilantro and some lime. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put both of these in the microwave. So the rice cauliflower is frozen and the other rice just needs to be cooked. So I put the cauliflower rice in there first, so it got out first. So while the brown rice is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do this in layers just because I want to make sure I get enough lime and cilantro through the whole thing. So I'm just going to get the kind of fluff out the cauliflower rice, and I'm going to add a little bit of lime and cilantro to this layer, and then when I get the brown rice in there, I'll do the same thing. And this is just a good way to, if you're just not a huge fan of cauliflower rice, this is just a good way to kind of cut the carbs and calories of the brown rice, but you're also adding in some more veggies and fiber and stuff with the cauliflower. So it's kind of a win-win, and I feel like when you're adding the cilantro and the lime juice to the cauliflower rice, it's just adding that just flavor to it that is just so good. I just love it so much. But I also like to have a little bit of the crunchiness. That's what I miss when I have cauliflower rice, is I miss that crunchiness of like rice, the rice kernels, you know, the brown rice or white rice. I miss that kind of like firmness of it, and I feel like you don't get that with the rice cauliflower as much. So that's one thing I do miss. So I'm going to go ahead and put the brown rice in there now. And again, we'll just add in a little bit more cilantro and some more lime. And you can use whatever kind of rice you want, but I like brown rice. It's one of my favorites. I could probably just eat brown rice just on its own with nothing. But yeah, we want to add a little bit of protein to that. So we're just going to go ahead and give that a stir. And again, like I said, we'll put the other half of that lime in there, and I'll probably add a little bit more cilantro because I love cilantro. I wanted to like save a little bit of cilantro to add to my burrito bowls, but I'm not going to have much left because I did, between the two recipes, I ended up using way more than I thought I was going to. And here is our completed cilantro lime rice for my burrito bowls. So try this out. If you have not tried this, I highly recommend mix the two together. The last thing for my burrito bowls is going to be some black beans. So I just want to make sure these are ready to go. So I'm going to drain and rinse these. And I like to get the no salt added. So here's all the components of my bowls. I already have my chicken. I already have some cheese. And I already have the guacamole and the Greek yogurt for sour cream. The last thing I need to do is make myself a veggie and fruit tray that I've been doing every single week, which I have been loving. So I'm going to cut all these up, and I have some hummus, and I have some ranch dip, and I also have some ranch dressing and all that I can have to dip all these in. So we have some strawberries, our carrots, our cucumbers, and all of our good veggies. So thank you guys, as always, for taking time out of your day to watch my video. As always, I will have any recipes linked down below. I will type out the energy bites and the chia seed pudding, since those were kind of recipes that I morphed together with 5 or 6 different ones. So I will type those out down below in the description box. I also have links to the jars, some different jars and stuff for the chia seed pudding. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.